When life gives you the Last Jedi, you make lemonade? Nope. You make a Jedi book and cram lights into it to distract you from the fact that one of your favorite characters was ruined. One thing that can be said about The Last Jedi is that it looked amazing. And my favorite thing from the movie were these ancient Jedi books that Luke had on that island. We're going to use a whole bunch of different techniques and incorporate this really cool flexible LED filament. The first step is to 3D print these models I designed for the cover and the spine. My 3D printer isn't big enough to print the whole thing at once, so we're going to slice up the models and then glue them together like a puzzle. Alright, the front cover and the spine are done printing. They're looking great. Next step is cutting some acrylic for the back, which is going to help the light reflect. For the back cover, it's going to be comprised of these two pieces, and we're going to cut a slot in the front for some battery holders. And the lights will be wired through the front cover to the spine all the way to the back, where it's going to connect to these battery holders. I'm going to have maybe 3 or so. So let's cut a slot here to hold those in. Now that the covers are mostly done, we're going to cover them in this hardstock, but first we're going to texture it. So this technique involves spraying the paper with water and vegetable glycerin. Give it kind of a leather texture. People often use this technique to make paper look like leather, but I'm just going to do, I'm not going to crumple it too much because I just want a little bit of texture, but I don't want it to look like full-on leather. So we're going to start with our water bottle, and it's about 1 part glycerin So 4 parts water. And we're just gonna spray. We want it pretty damp, and then we're gonna let it dry, and then come back and crinkle it up when it's still damp but not soaking wet. Once this dries, we're going to add some cheesecloth on the top, and that's just going to add even more texture. Cheesecloth is commonly used in cooking, so you can find it at pretty much any grocery store. Our spine is dry and smooth. We hit it with a automotive filler primer. It's excellent for 3D printed parts and smoothing them out. And we got a base coat of cream. And the goal here is to make it kind of look like bone. So we're gonna hit it with some acrylic and give it a wash and see how it looks. So we're just gonna kind of do a layer, and then we're gonna wipe it off. A little heavier on the bottom here. Okay. That's fine. All right, our pieces are done. They're all dry. Now we're gonna go ahead and tie them together. We're ready to wire our cover. We're gonna put the LED filament around the acrylic here, get it all in place and give it a test, and then we'll solder it together. We got everything wired up. Let's give it a test. Oh, it works. It works. Now we're going to cover the back of the acrylic with this cardstock, and we're going to cover the inside with this. It's like a burlap material. That's going to cover the whole inside here, cover up all the wires. I love how the cover's coming out so far. We got one final step, and that's the weathering. We're gonna hit it with some acrylic, give it kind of a wash, little water, little acrylic, and make it look like it was used and beat up maybe, and just aged in general. So I think what I want to do here is use the cheesecloth to kind of tell the story, where it looks like it was ripped here. So this is going to be a little lighter than everything else. So I'm going to go a little darker here, and that kind of looked like a more of a rip.
One eternity later.
And for the final touch, we're going to cover the front here with these little parts I 3D printed. I gave them a wood texture, painted them in brown acrylic, and then just gave it a black wash. This actually turned out way better than I thought it was going to. I'm in love with it. Let's take a closer look, see what you think.